Hello and welcome. Lockdown is going to continue till the end of June, but in many ways, work is resuming in cities like Mumbai and Delhi. People are already on the streets, getting back to work in measured ways, and it's really getting crowded. And which also brings us to the question about what's going to happen when the coronavirus cases are still rising, the hospitals are getting overloaded, and we're all out there. So the question is therefore, how do we actually calibrate our lives in a manner that we obviously don't get affected or infected? And is there a way that we can achieve reasonable to full protection by taking the right care in everything we do, particularly when it comes to travel and living our lives in relatively confined spaces, including in large apartment complexes in the big cities? So to discuss this, I'm joined by Dr. Giridhar R. Babu, professor and head of life course epidemiology at the Public Health Foundation of India. Professor Babu started off as a junior resident at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi, also worked with the World Health Organization, worked on stopping polio transmission and also on measles surveillance. He also did his epidemiology and master's in public health and a PhD from the University of California, Los Angeles. Dr. Babu, thank you very much for joining us today. So first question is, so we are stepping out. I think earlier we were asking, should I step out? Can I not? And all that. So people are stepping out. If so, or if not, what should I be waiting for?
Yeah, so I think time has come now to start preparing in terms of how I would want to go out and start working. For that, there are three C's which we should be taking care of. One is closed space, next is crowded places, and the third thing is close contact setting. I need to be following precautions for all the three C's so that I am safe, and if I am infected, others are safe from me.
Right. Okay. So, when you say that, we will be safe, I mean, let me ask that again. So, assuming, let's say, things are going to the number of cases are going to rise. If that happens, in some ways, the fear is also going to rise. What's the precaution that I can take that will give me the right degree of, let's say, comfort and satisfaction that I am now protected? I mean, short of going out in a full PPE suit.
Uh, Obviously, we don't have to go in a full PPE suit, but as we're leaving the house, it is a common practice for us to wear jewelry or your favorite watch or something when you're moving out of the house. Now we need to make masks as our best component that has to be an accompanying us at every point of time. So once we start using masks, the moment we stop, whenever there is a crowd, wherever there is any news play person whom I'm getting in contact with, I am wearing mask and I'm also ensuring that there is physical distancing. So even when I'm going to the office, if it is a closed space and if it is poorly ventilated, all I need to ensure is that there is enough physical distancing and I am using mask whenever I'm in doubt. By following this and ensuring that there is no close contact with any person, whether it is infected, uninfected, doesn't matter. The best thing is to assume that everybody is infected and wear mask wherever you're in doubt.
Right. So the other question is, is this disease likely to stay with us for a long time? So some people are obviously, even as we speak, very worried. Like a lot of apartment complexes, for instance, are not allowing anyone inside even now, and are obviously equally worried about stepping out. So is there some turning point, or what could that turning point be, apart from, let's say, a public policy push saying that yes, now it's open, and you have to go out or you have to step out?
I think as I stressed before, if we are able to follow three C's and we wear masks all the time, I think this is not going to be a great panic. The turning point has already been given by Europe and the UK. So after
Right.
lifting the lockdown in the Europe, there is steady decrease in the number of deaths and also the number of cases that they are seeing. In the UK, the standardized national prevalence is around 8%. But yet, there is decrease in the number of deaths and the cases seen in the UK. So there's so many things about this novel coronavirus that we don't know. Earlier, people said nearly 60% of the people had to get infected to get herd immunity. But with 8% of zero prevalence, we are seeing decrease in number of cases and deaths. So therefore, either the virus is affecting only some people and probably killing those who are mostly vulnerable. But once that is true, and only a part of the community is getting affected, it is on the decreasing trend. So therefore, there is increase in number of cases in India, but nothing to worry because our mortality rate is definitely very low, and our health systems are prepared well enough to take care of surge in cases. And also, a
Right.
major
And
proportion of people are asymptomatic.
right,
Go
and
ahead,
that's an
Govind.
interesting point. You're saying that in many of these countries, despite their opening up, or maybe because they started opening up, the number of cases started going down. So is it a convergence of time and some other factor because it had already been around the disease, or some other external factors?
Yeah, Govind. Once there is a peak in transmission, the cases will have to go down. So when is
Right.
that peak is the most important thing. So arguably, most of the countries in Europe and UK have already seen their peak in the past. Whereas for India, the peak is yet to come. Based on several projections, maybe it will be around mid-July. But we are going at a pace where even the increase in number of cases are handled well by the health. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, I don't think there is no cause for any panic. We need to get on with our work, but we need to ensure these minimum precautions.
Right, and I'd like you to walk us through two illustrative situations. So first is, let's say, catching a flight. Now flight involves not just going to an airport, standing in lines, and walking inside the aircraft, and then sitting inside a pressurized container for 1.5 hours or 2 hours or even more if you're flying long distance. So what are the things that I should be thinking about, and how can I be sure that I am safe and protected?
I think one of the most safe setting is when you are within the aircraft, because at least the air condition system is such that it will probably get rid of the virus even if it is circulating there. But if you want to be doubly cautious, you can wear a mask throughout the transit while you are in the flight and whenever you are in doubt. Mask is definitely an essential accessory that each one has have to wear all the time. In addition, as much as possible, we should be ensuring that there is minimum physical distancing. There are small airports where there can be overcrowding. As long as people are following coffee tickets, so let's get this through. The only way the virus spreads is through cough and sneezing, what we generally call as secretions of mouth, eyes, and nose. So
Right.
therefore, avoid men. To avoid the men, you should be using the mask all the time and you ensure physical distance.
Right. The other situation is, apartment complexes. We've also talked about very high density tenements, and that is a slightly different problem. But let's look at apartment complexes, where a lot of people stay. I mean, within the apartment, obviously you're safe, but you're worried because people are coming in and out, people are taking elevators, people are going down staircases. So, what do you feel? I mean, what should be the ideal, response? Because the sense I get is when I hear a lot of people that there is fear which drives everything. Shut all gates, don't allow anyone to enter. People should go out and get their couriers and come back in. So, does it sort of first of all reflect a scientific understanding of what this virus can do or not? And if so, how should we be responding?
Again, let me repeat, the only way anybody can contract this virus is if you're staying for longer than at least 20 minutes and through the respiratory droplets, which are either sneezed or coughed. So actually, when you sneeze, the droplets can go till 6 meters. So
Right.
if everyone is wearing masks in the common area and you are just walking next to each other and suddenly, let's say somebody coughs, so randomly one will not get the coronavirus transmitted from one person to another. The chances are less than having a road traffic injury within the apartment complex.
What should my philosophy be? I mean, what should I, what are the 2 or 3 things I should be always aware of? And I think you've covered it, but I'm just asking you to encapsulate it once again.
No, absolutely, Govind. So I think I should be very careful about crowds. If I'm seeing more than few people, that few can be very subjective in India, but then let's say more than 5 or 10, I should ensure that when I'm entering that either I am making sure that everybody is wearing mask and then there's physical distancing, but for my safety, I'm wearing the mask. Even if you are going for a walk or a run, you should be able to ensure physical distancing. When you go to the office, closed spaces, you have to ensure physical distancing and you have to use masks whenever you're in doubt. And most importantly, close contact settings. If you think 2 arm distance is what your privacy is, you should ensure that there is no other person in that space. If they are there, both of you are using the mask. I think that should be the minimum principles we should.
Right. And last question, Dr. Babu. So, how are you, seeing things going ahead? I mean, in terms of if you were to look at all the work that's going on in terms of understanding this disease, we spoke about a month ago, and obviously some things must have changed in our understanding of how this is progressing. So, what are your thoughts today?
Uh, what we know now, which we did not know a month ago, symptomatics are mostly known to spread the infection. So therefore, there might be many asymptomatics who might be even testing positive, but as of now, the evidence doesn't suggest that they are the ones who are the key drivers of infection. Number two, Japan could reduce their case burden just by following the 3C strategy that I explained to you: closed spaces, crowded places, and close contact settings. In addition to this, using masks and physical distance has shown to reduce the transmission more than 50%. So I'm more confident now that India will be able to do well and also reduce our mortality and sustain the gains that we have achieved over the.
Right, right, Dr. Babu. Thank you very much for speaking with us once again, and I wish you all the best in your efforts to learn more about this disease and the fight against it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Govind.